today's video where I am doing some ASMR on myself. This time it's kind of Christmas themed. You see, I've been rummaging around the house to find Christmas triggers to use on my back, but you'll be able to hear as well. We'll do them to you, we'll do them to me. Microphones here and here to capture the sounds on my back. And we'll just see how we go on. I'm going to do some book tracing and getting you to guess what I'm drawing. And I also have a wonderful Christmas bedtime story in store for you as well, which should be nice to read. So yeah, so just sit back and relax, okay? Just calm your mind. Calm your mind. Get into the festive spirit. Do any of you like mirror triggers by any chance? That's what I'm trying to do. On you and on me. Now, I'm going to start with something really random. So it's called like a big stick with these really extremely soft and fluffy balls. Like it feels like a velvet and very soft on your skin, like so. And I thought this would be the perfect thing to start. So it's a real plant. It's called like something willow, I think. Oops, I accidentally took one of the balls off. And it comes out around kind of Christmas time, so they have them in the shop. So I bought them, big massive ones, and put them in a vase downstairs in the kitchen. But I figured these would make an excellent trigger sound wise. On me too. You can see how the little fluffs came everywhere. Has anybody else got one of these? I'm curious. Okay, so it feels super nice on myself. Imagine being able to give ASMR to yourself. I feel like that would be so cool. Do you think it would tickle to use the end of it like this? You could draw something like a star. Could you see it was a star? What about a moon? Like this. Actually, I missed that there. course, a pinecone, but it's like a pinecone Christmas tree decoration. I love the sound of pinecones. This one's got a little bit of glitter on it. Now, when put gently on your skin, it makes a really nice sound. So let's do this to me. Pinecone. Okay. Our next one is one you've heard before, but it works for Christmas. We have the woodwick crackle. This is holiday cheer, so it is perfect for this time of year. Smell this. It is literally cinnamon and a little bit of more cinnamon. Maybe some like a fir tree. It smells good. So we're gonna crackle this, and this is a sound trigger for you and for me. So use this. Like so. Hear that? It is loud, this one. I have another candle like this, but it's not so loud. But this one is wonderfully loud. I'll hear or feel the heat from my back, from the candle. And then we go. And let the smoke just do its thing. We'll pop the lid on top to stop the oxygen from the ember. Here we are. Alright. Our next trigger is part of my Christmas tree. Smell this. It doesn't get any more Christmassy than this. This is a fir tree, a real one. is my stocking. If I'm good this year, of course, it has a penguin on it. This is my little stocking. I like that it's got my name in diamantes, but it's very soft. So I want to gently just like pop this over your ears, your body, to see how that feels, and on myself. Such a random trigger. It's like a flop it on. It just is. Whip some air towards you. It can sometimes be a trigger. But yeah, I don't know what Santa's gonna bring me this year. In my little stocking. I'm lucky because my mum does one for me too when I go to her house. So my mum and dad, I should say, collectively. But it's really my mum that does it. So 2 stockings this year. Okay. We also have this little gorgeous little thing for another sound trigger. So this is like a little wooden thing. So you've got like the wooden house and like little trees. And there's little reindeer. And there's little houses here as well, like a little village. And the house and the windows have love hearts on them. And all the trees is kind of 3D. And then the stars and the clouds. I don't know if it's got any battery left. I don't think so, but it normally lights up. But we are out of battery. I think this is a sound. This. You might be looking at this going like, what is this? Why is this Christmas related? This is an exfoliation glove that I got from my ritual advent calendar. So it's like good for getting off like dead skin. So different because of what it's made of. Feel interesting as well. wee little gold poking out. Definitely rough, but if you're very gentle, I think it feels really nice. Really nice. Oh my god. We also have some classic brushes for you. And a feather too. So this is a very soft brush for you. What could we draw? We could do dot, dot, line, line, spiders crawling up your spine. Tight squeeze, cool breeze. Crack an egg on your head. And now you got the shivering. Never done that before with a brush. I always use my fingers because you need the fingers really for the spider sound. So chicka chicka chicka. Alright, and we have, of course, a feather. Can't forget the feather. This one is slightly worse for wear. If you'll remember, a few videos ago, my doggy decided to eat the feather, so the feather touch is one of the most tingly. Like, I find it so tingly, like so tingly, so delicate. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna come down here to grab this, which is a bedtime story that's a Christmas story. It's called The Match Girl, or Girl. So I thought I'd read this to you and to me to help you sleep. Okay, so just close your eyes. Close your eyes. I think I'm going to try and can I sit here? Yeah, you can see me / hear me, so I'll sit here and we'll read this. Okay. Once upon a time, most terribly cold it was. It snowed. It was nearly quite dark and evening, the last evening of the year. In this cold and darkness, there went along the street a poor little girl, bareheaded and with naked feet. When she left home, she had slippers on. It is true, But what was the good of that? They were very large slippers, which her mother had hitherto worn. So large were they, and the poor little thing lost them as she scuffled away across the street because of two carriages that rolled by dreadfully fast. One slipper was nowhere to be found. The other had been laid hold of by an urchin, and off he ran with it. He thought it would do capitally for a cradle when he some day or other should have children himself. So the little maiden walked on with her tiny naked feet that were quite red and blue from the cold. She carried a quantity of matches in an old apron, and she held a bundle of them in her hand. Nobody had bought anything of her the whole livelong day. No one had given her a single farthing. She crept along trembling with cold and hunger, a very picture of sorrow, the poor little thing. The flakes of snow covered her long fair hair, which fell in beautiful curls around her neck. But of that, of course, she never once now thought. From all the windows the candles were gleaming, and it smelt so deliciously of roast goose, for you know it was New Year's Eve. Yes, of that she thought. In a corner formed by two houses, of which one advanced more than the other, she seated herself down and cowered together. Her little feet she had drawn up close to her, but she grew colder and colder, and to go home she did not venture, for she had not sold any matches and could not bring a farthing of money. From her father she would certainly get blows, and at home it was cold too, for above her she only had the roof, through which the wind whistled, even though the largest cracks were stopped up with straw and rags. Her little hands were almost numbed and cold. Oh, a match might afford her a world of comfort, if she only dared to take a single one out of the bundle, draw it against the wall, and warm her fingers by it. She drew one out, whisht. How it blazed, how it burnt. It was a warm, bright flame like a candle. As she held her hands over it, it was wonderfully light. It seemed really to the little maiden as though she were sitting before a large iron stove with burnished brass feet and a brass ornament at top. The fire burned with such blessed influence. It warmed so delightfully. The little girl had already stretched out her feet to warm them too, but the small flame went out, the stove vanished. She had only the remains of the burnt out match in her hand. She rubbed another against the wall. It burned brightly, and where the light fell on the wall, there the wall became transparent like a veil, so that she could see into the room. On the table was spread a snow-white tablecloth. Upon it was a splendid porcelain service, and the roast goose was steaming famously with its stuffing of apple and dried plums. And what was still more capital to behold was the goose hopped down from the dish, reeled about on the floor with knife and fork in its breast, till it came up to the poor little girl, when the match went out and nothing but the thick, cold, damp wall was left behind. She lighted another match. Now there she was sitting under the most magnificent Christmas tree. It was still larger and more decorated than the one she had seen through the glass door in the rich merchant's house. Thousands of lights were burning on the green branches, and gaily coloured pictures, such as she had seen in the shop windows, looked down upon her. The little maiden stretched out her hands towards them when the match went out. The lights of the Christmas tree rose higher and higher. She saw them now as stars in heaven, and one fell down and formed a long trail of fire. "Someone is just dead," said the little girl, for her grandmother, the only person who loved her and who now was no more, had told her that when a star falls, a soul ascends to God. She drew another match against the wall. It was again light, and in the lustre there stood the old grandmother, so bright and radiant, so mild, and with such an expression of love. "Grandmother," cried the little one, "oh, take me with you. You go away when the match burns out. You vanish like the warm stove, like the delicious roast goose, and like the magnificent Christmas tree." And she rubbed the whole bundle of matches quickly against the wall, for she wanted to be quite sure of keeping her grandmother near her. And the matches gave such a brilliant light that it was brighter than at noonday. Never formerly had the grandmother been so beautiful and tall. She took the little maiden on her arm, and both flew in brightness and in joy so high, so very high, and then above was neither cold, nor hunger, nor anxiety. They were with God. But in the corner, at the cold hour of dawn, sat the poor girl with rosy cheeks and with a smiling mouth, leaning against the wall, frozen to death on the last evening of the old year. Stiff and stark sat the child there with her matches, of which one bundle had been burnt. She wanted to warm herself, people said. No one had the slightest suspicion of what beautiful things she had seen. No one even dreamed of the splendour in which, with her grandmother, she had entered on the joys of a new year. The end. I think it's a very old, short story. I didn't realise she was going to die, but it was quite beautiful. Quite beautiful indeed. Oh, stretch my back. Sometimes when you sit I can't even speak. When you sit when you sit precariously on a stool, I find like my back, I'm like, oh, I'm like an old woman. That is what I am. Anyway, my lovelies, I hope that you are dreaming currently and you are having wonderful dreams and sleeping soundly. And if you're not, then I hope that you're relaxed and you'll be either sleeping, or if you're using this to relax, you'll be super relaxed for whatever you're up to. Anyway, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thank you for joining me and me. And I'll see